Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to your astrological forecast for next week, starting from January 20th. I am pre-recording this because that is actually the week which I'm taking off. So I'm pre-recording a lot of videos, so I'm a little bit jumping timelines over here, but nevertheless, I have my notes, I have my phone, so let's see what is going to come out with that. But this astrological forecast is going to cover the week starting from January the 20th, Monday. And that, of course, then will be the build-up towards the new moon in Aquarius, which will be taking place the following week. So anyway, guys, before I dive any deeper, let me just open this space and invite my higher self, my spirit guides, ancestors, ascended masters, starseed family, especially Sirius, because Sirius has been coming through very strongly. All the beings of light that wish to be present for this recording, also Akashic record keepers and my astrological team, of course, first and foremost. So thank you everyone for being present. Thank you everyone for being present. And as I am going to be premiering this on Saturday the 18th, that's when I'm going to start. So we entered into the weekend starting from Friday the 17th with Sun making a sextile to Neptune. Again, because its Sun is special, but with regards to Sun and Neptune, this is the last sextile before their next conjunction in Pisces season, and Moon in the sign of Virgo, which is all about learning and adjusting. This is all post this full moon in Cancer, so we are definitely learning and adjusting how to work with all these emotions, especially now with the North Node in Pisces. Saturday the 18th, Sun is making a sextile to North Node, trine to South Node from 29 degrees and 8 minutes, Capricorn to Pisces and Virgo. Venus is making a conjunction to Saturn, so the cycle is resetting between Venus and Saturn. Saturn as the former ruler of Pluto and Venus as the former ruler of the South Node, and prior to that, she was the ruler of the North Node when North Node was in Taurus. Then on Saturday the 18th, night of the Saturday 18th or morning of the Sunday 19th, Moon will move into the sign of Libra, which is all about justice and balancing, harmonizing. And on Sunday the 19th, Mercury will sextile Saturn and Mercury will also sextile Venus. This is all closing sextile, Mercury being in Capricorn, Saturn being the ruler, and same for between Mercury and Venus. So this is a preparation for their upcoming conjunctions. Closing sextile always holds a flavor of Aquarius. So what are we breaking free, liberating ourselves from? And post that, Sunday the 19th, Sun moves into the sign of Aquarius. Here we go, Aquarius, finally. It will be my first house, finally. Okay, so here we go. January the 20th, Monday, January the 20th, we're entering into this week, January the 20th, with Moon in the sign of Libra. This is second decan, but going into the final decan of Libra, which, let me quickly calculate, will be from Aquarian decan into Gemini decan, all about the choice. And then on Monday the 20th, Mars retrograde will sextile Juno. Then on Tuesday the 21st, Mercury will make a square to Chiron. We know Mercury and Chiron, they have this love affair going on, right? This is a closing square, so this is a crisis in consciousness. What are we releasing? Mercury being in a sign of Capricorn, this is a second decan, Taurus decan. What are we believing about ourselves? And Chiron being in Aries is saying there is this new direction, right? Mars is in a sign of Cancer as the ruler retrograde. We are reevaluating who we are, especially post this full moon in Cancer. What did you learn? What did you realize about yourself? What does or does not resonate anymore with regards to the limitations that we impose on ourselves being attached to certain labels? Okay, so this is the closing square. Like I said, this is a preparation for their conjunction. Let me see if I put down here. I wrote the notes yesterday, so I don't even know what I put. Yeah, anyway, so Tuesday, the closing square between Mercury and Chiron. I know the last conjunction was in May. They had 3 of them because Mercury was retrograde in Aries. And then on the same day, Tuesday the 21st, Sun is making a conjunction to Pluto in Aquarius. This is the first conjunction between Sun and Pluto in the sign of Aquarius in our lifetime, because last year on January 20th, 2024, they conjuncted on 29 degrees 59 minutes of Capricorn. So this is the very first time Sun and Pluto are making a conjunction in the sign of Aquarius on 1 degree 43 minutes. When we add these numbers together, it comes up to number 8, and we just came out out of year number 8, which is all about strength and authenticity, and it holds the frequency of Saturn and Jupiter, which is expansion through maturation and taking responsibility. And Sun being a sign of Aquarius, it's all about, again, breaking free, liberation, sovereignty. And this is happening while Moon is still on final minutes of Libra. So once again, this is a Gemini decan, which is all about the choice. And I'm going to once again mention that at the time when the nodes were shifting from Aries and Libra, and I feel this is a very important thing for people to understand, at the time when the nodes were shifting from Libra and Aries and Libra into Pisces and Virgo, Moon was the last one that made the aspect to them. First, it was the trine to the south node and sextile to the north node from 0 degrees of Gemini, anaretic degrees, very important, Gemini, the choice. And then Moon was also the first one that aspected the nodes as soon as they moved into Pisces and Virgo, and that was Moon being on 29 degrees of Gemini, which is Aquarian decan. So this is what I mean. It's all about the choice. Moon is yourself. It's your inner world. So what choice are you making? It's entirely up to you, because that will determine the direction you're going to be experiencing, right? The reality you're going to be experiencing. So yes, so Sun-Pluto conjunction on Tuesday the 21st will be happening under influence of Moon in the sign of Libra, which is all about balance, on the final decan, which is about Gemini, the choice, balance through choice. And after that, Moon is moving into a sign of Scorpio, so it will make us feel things, whatever choice you're making, you're going to feel it. And as soon as Moon does that, it's going to square Pluto and subsequently square the Sun, because Scorpio to Aquarius, right? And then we have Mercury conjunct Pallas. Okay, Tuesday, Moon is transiting through the sign of Scorpio. It's going to trine Saturn. Okay, Thursday the 23rd, we'll have Mars retrograde in the sign of Cancer, still under influence of Moon in Scorpio on final decan, which is Cancer decan, very good. So Moon is the ruler of Mars. Mars is making his second sextile to Uranus. Mars is retrograde, as I already mentioned, 23 degrees 17 minutes. This is a final decan of Taurus, which is Capricorn, 23 degrees Aquarian degree. So what do we have here? Yes, Mars making a sextile to Uranus. Okay, the first sextile between the two took place on 25th of October 2024, which was a Scorpio season, and the third and the final one, at that time, of course, Mars was direct, Uranus was already retrograde, and the third and final one will take place on 4/4 portal, which is interesting because last year, 2024, on 4/4 portal, we had the Sun North Node conjunction, and at the time, Mars, of course, was the ruler. So yes, so the third and the final one will be on 4/4 portal, and that's when both Mars and Uranus will be direct, and Mars sextile in Uranus. This is a first sextile. First sextile since their conjunction. I mean, going back and forth, obviously, they already had the first hit in October, but this is evolving the cycle that began between Mars and Uranus on 15th of July 2024, which was right before the second full moon in Capricorn, which took place on the 21st of July on 29 degrees. So yeah, so this is the first sextile, has a flavor of Taurus, creating the new foundation. How? From inside out, Cancer, right? Reconnecting with our intuition and our emotions and our true essence of who we really are. Okay, Thursday is the loaded day. That's the busiest day of the week. Later on that day, Mercury will make an opposition to Mars retrograde, 23 degrees 12 minutes, and this is a midpoint since they last had their conjunction, which was on January 27th, 2024, and that was right after the full moon in Leo. And then after that, Mercury will trine Uranus retrograde in Taurus, 23 degrees 17 minutes still, so Uranus is not moving from the point of sextile to Mars. So Mercury trine to Uranus, and the last conjunction between the two of them took place on May 30th, 2024, of course, in Taurus. And yeah, Mercury to Uranus, this is a closing trine, which is the harvest. And this is all about Capricorn. So this is all about us mastering our mind, because as I was talking before, it's all about mastering our mind and emotions. And now Mercury, as the rule of Jupiter, Jupiter still retrograde at this point. Jupiter is literally, that's what Jupiter is helping us to do. It's helping us to learn to master our mind, our thoughts, through exaggerating them, through like really, bringing it to our face so we cannot hide away from it anymore. And now Mercury being a sign of Capricorn, it's saying, okay, now you can master this, you can take responsibility and master this. And yeah, Uranus is the current ruler of Pluto, so as I said, this is a closing trine, preparation for the next conjunction, which will take place in Taurus season, not necessarily, but I don't actually have the date, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know when exactly they're gonna conjunct next time, but it's going to be when Mercury hit Taurus. Okay, so Thursday also, Moon is going to move into the sign of Sagittarius. So right after this Mercury and Uranus trine, Moon is actually making a trine to the North Node, trine to Neptune, trine to North Node from the sign of Scorpio, so final decan of Scorpio, which is again Cancer. And after that, Moon is moving to the sign of Sagittarius, which is all about this expansion. Sagittarius ruled by Jupiter, Jupiter ruled by Mercury, and we can see this is a busy day for Mercury, making an opposition to Mars and making a trine to Uranus. Okay, then Friday, Venus will sextile Pallas, Mercury will sextile Juno. Saturday, Moon is still transiting through the sign of Sagittarius. So on Saturday, Venus in Pisces will make a trine to Mars, retrograde in the sign of Cancer. And this is once again evolving a cycle that began between the two of them on February 22nd, 2024, when they had their second conjunction in the sign of Aquarius. The first one took place in 2022. In year 2022. So it's interesting that last year it happened on 22nd of February to 2022. I mean, seriously, spirit is funny. So they conjuncted in February last year on 6 degrees 58 minutes of Aquarius, and this is a trine. This is again Venus, Pisces to Cancer. This is a closing trine, harvest. So what did we learn? What are we releasing, and what are we picking up the fruits of our release, right? Mars being a sign of Cancer. This is all about inner work, because Pisces, Cancer, this is all about reconnection with the spirit. Okay, and then we close in the week with Sunday the 26th, Moon moving into the sign of Capricorn. So again, the cardinal energy moving into the new direction, the direction of self-mastery. Pallas is opposing Mars. Mercury is making a sextile to Neptune. This is a closing sextile, 27 degrees 49 minutes, Capricorn to Pisces, which is the Virgo decan for Mercury, and Pisces, Scorpio for, that doesn't make sense, Capricorn, let's see, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. Yeah, it's Virgo for Mercury, and Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. Yeah, it's Scorpio for Neptune. Okay, either way, it's a closing sextile, and this is Aquarian flavor, which is again about what are we breaking free from. Mercury being a sign of Capricorn, what are we breaking free from is our mind ruling our life, like monkey mind. And on the same day, we have Venus making a closing sextile to Uranus, Venus being in Pisces, Uranus still in Taurus, retrograde, ruled by Venus, closing sextile. This is preparation for their upcoming conjunction as well. And the last conjunction took place on May 18th, 2024. And this is again Aquarius. This is all very Aquarian flavor, obviously being Aquarian season. This is really showing us, especially with all these planets ending the end of their cycle, like Mercury being in Capricorn, Venus being in Pisces, there is the reset point in Aries. So we have a lot of realizations with regards to what is no longer serving us, because Pluto is now done with Capricorn, and what do we need to let go of. So we have Venus making a closing sextile to Uranus, and then the night of Sunday 26th to morning, Monday 27th, Mercury will make a sextile to the North Node and trine to South Node, and this is also a preparation for Mercury making a conjunction Mercury making a conjunction to North Node, and after that, on the same day, Mercury is moving into the sign of Aquarius, where Mercury will remain until February 14th. So Mercury will conjunct the North Node in February. The last conjunction between Mercury and North Node was in March last year, right before the Libra eclipse on the 18th. And the last conjunction between Mercury and the South Node was on 30th of September 2024. Which was right before the new moon solar eclipse in Libra, so a lot of Libra. Okay, is there anything else I wanted to mention with regards to my notes? Okay, I can't think of anything. But anyway, naming the aspects, this is what's happening. Like I said, then, on Monday the 27th, Mercury will make an aspect to the lunar nodes and move into the sign of Aquarius, where Mercury will remain until Valentine's Day. And then the cycle will continue. We continue the build up towards the new moon in Aquarius, which will then take place on Wednesday the 29th. And that's what I will be covering in my next video. So, okay. So let's just tune into the energy. So as we can see now, with the Cancer full moon, first lunation of 2025, a lot of things became illuminated to us, especially with regards to what we've been learning and tuning into, tapping into since July last year, because we had the new moon in Cancer in between the two full moons in Capricorn on 1 degree and 29 degrees. So there is a lot of illumination and inner knowing, especially now with the North Node being in the sign of Pisces, and all these spiritual downloads are coming through, spiritual downloads, Mercury being the ruler of Jupiter, Jupiter being the traditional ruler of the North Node in the sign of Gemini, and being retrograde. So this is what I mean. This is all supporting us in helping us to master our mind, because Jupiter, when he moves into the sign of Cancer, will be helping us to master our emotion by bringing the emotional overload, especially with this North Node being in the sign of Pisces, Jupiter being the traditional ruler. And also there'll be a trine between Jupiter and the North Node. I believe that is not taking place until 2026, but either way, there will be a trine. So it's very interesting how all these mercurial aspects from the sign of Capricorn, and Capricorn, of course, is the structure of reality. Saturn is in the sign of Pisces. Venus is having the conjunction with Saturn. Venus is the former ruler of the South Node, which was the resolution node when Pluto was squaring the nodes throughout 2023. And this is what we're moving away from. So the energy of this entire week is, again, just a continuation of the process that we are now going ahead with. There is no looking back. Pluto is no longer going back to Capricorn. Pluto is now in Aquarius. We have the Sun-Pluto conjunction in the sign of Aquarius, first one in our lifetime. And this is a process that's going to be ongoing for the next 20 years, right? Sun is going to conjunct Pluto in Aquarius every year from now. And this is helping us to step into our authentic expression, because Sun is the ruler of Leo, and Leo is all about authenticity. It's also about this heart-centered consciousness, and Sun being in the sign of Aquarius, it's illuminating to us, what does this mean for you? And once again, this is a continuation of this full moon in Cancer. What got illuminated to you, also with this North Node now being in a sign of Pisces, and this is now preparation for, like obviously the next season after this will be Piscean season, and we're going to have the eclipses. There will be no eclipse in Pisces, there will be the final one in Aries, but still we'll have the full moon lunar eclipse in the sign of Virgo on March 14th. So regardless, like now with this North Node being the sign of Pisces, and we just had this full moon in Cancer, Pisces and Cancer trine each other, so, and also trine Scorpio, so there is this lot of emotions that are coming up to the surface and making us to question things. And this is again, like repeating myself from what I said previously, I very strongly believe that these first 3 months of this year, especially until equinox, until the Aries season kicks off, these 3 months are about inner work. So with this full moon in Cancer being the first lunation of 2025, with the North Node literally just have moved into the sign of Pisces, this is what we're focusing on. And the South Node being in the sign of Virgo, we end in the year 9, Hermit, which is associated with Virgo. So like, again, continuation what I was talking about previously in my previous video, the South Node in Virgo is the anchor point, that is helping us to understand that, okay, this is what humanity has gone through. Some of it served, all of it served. It had a meaning and purpose. Some of it is still serving now in 21st century, in year 2025, but a lot of it is not, right? Because a lot of it was based on us looking up to someone else outside of us to help us to identify who we are and to determine our purpose and how we should operate in this world and what we should be doing and how we should be behaving and how we should be feeling and what is and isn't allowed. And all of this is ending now. That's why Mercury, now going through this sign of Capricorn, is making us to really be focused and with determination and discipline to really reevaluate, because Mercury is still a ruler of Jupiter currently retrograde. And Jupiter in retrograde, again, is bringing to the surface of our consciousness from the subconscious, because it's retrograde, it's very introspective energy, is bringing up all these things, all these stories, all these thoughts, all these limiting beliefs, all this monkey mind, that can be a real tyrant, when it's untrained, when it's controlling our life, which is something I also share in my practical application of astrology. I don't know if I'm going to record another one before you're watching this, but, one of the last ones. So anyway, so this is what I mean. Jupiter, is bringing all this to the surface, right? Jupiter is still retrograde until February 4th. Jupiter is going to station direct right before the Neptune North Node conjunction. North Node ruled traditionally by Jupiter, ruled by the modern rulership by Neptune. So there is no coincidence to any of this. And of course, Jupiter is still retrograde for the new moon in Aquarius, which, like I said, will be experienced on January 29th, alongside with the lunar year beginning, the year of the wood snake, about shedding skin. What are we shedding? The old identities. That's why with this full moon in Cancer, a lot of things became illuminated to us, a lot of things that we might not feel comfortable about and we might feel very emotional about, and it might be taking us, and in many cases it is taking us back to our childhood, back to our familial environment where we grew up in, what shaped us, what made us, what created who we are now, right? So we're going all the way back and we are really questioning things, we are really reevaluating things, we are really looking into our script, these stories that we keep recreating because we keep repeating the same thing, we're doing the same thing. Also Mercury is like this mechanical movement every day, waking up, doing the same thing every day the same routine. And with the South Node in Virgo, and Mercury being the ruler of Jupiter, is questioning, is this still serving me? Is this still supporting me? And by this stage, obviously, this week starting from January 20th, we are in Aquarius season. Aquarius is all about breaking pattern, right? There is this Venus. What is Venus doing with Uranus? Let me just go into my logical brain. Venus is sextile in Uranus, yes, on the 26th. Aquarian sextile. Yes, like I said, there are all these Aquarian sextiles, right? Mercury is opposing Mars, which is about balancing. Mercury in Capricorn, Mars in the sign of Cancer. Mars is how Pluto acts consciously. So there is all this balancing with regards to our everyday reality, with regards to structure of reality we've created and are now experiencing, and where we are going, who we are becoming. This is still, Mars is still, I believe it in the degree. Let me see what degree is Mars on. 23 degrees. Pluto, yes, Mars is still opposing Pluto. Yes, they are still within a 10-degree orb. Mars is still opposing Pluto. And like I mentioned before, this Mars-Pluto opposition, this is all about us balancing where we've been and where we've going, balancing the old versions of ourselves with the new versions of ourselves, who we are becoming and who we have to become in order to be frequency matched to the time that we are entering into, the reality that we are co-creating together. So with all these aspects, again, and like I just named them, I don't want to keep looking into notes, but like what just popped up for me right when I looked at my notes was this Venus trine to Mars. Venus as the former ruler of the South Node. Prior to that, the ruler of the North Node. Mars as the former ruler of the North Node. Prior to that, traditional ruler of the South Node, when the South Node was in the sign of Scorpio until July 2023. And now they trine each other. They are evolving the cycle that began last year in February, on February 22nd, which was the continuation of the cycle that began in 2022, year 2022, which was their first conjunction in the sign of Aquarius. But at the time, Venus and Mars were still conjuncting Pluto in the sign of Capricorn. Their first conjunction with Pluto in the sign of Aquarius took place in 2024. For Venus twice. We had two conjunctions between Venus and Pluto in 2024. The second one was in December, right after Mars stationed retrograde, right? December, I think it was 6th or 7th. So anyway, so now they are having a trine. Venus is in the sign of Pisces. Mars is retrograde in the sign of Cancer, which is again taking us inwards. Mars was in the sign of Pisces when when we had the solar eclipse, right? Solar eclipse in Aries 2024. And also Mars was in the sign of Virgo when Mars became the ruler of the North Node in Aries in July 2023. And now Mercury is in the sign of Capricorn when he's become the ruler of the South Node, and Jupiter is retrograde in the sign of Gemini ruled by Mercury in Capricorn when Jupiter became the traditional ruler of the North Node in the sign of Pisces, while Neptune is obviously in Pisces. So this is all bringing us back to the same thing. What have we learned? What we have learned as a humanity since the time and age began, and now we are sieving through our experiences as a humanity and deciding what are we keeping and what are we letting go, because that which we experience until this point is dissolving, is not longer available, and for that we need to make adjustments. We need to change. The reality has to change. We have to change. The more we change, the more the reality we are observing and experiencing will change. So therefore, what is happening here? So with all these final sextiles, oppositions, final sextiles under the influence of the full moon in Cancer, which is now waning. So this is the disseminating cycle, right? The moon is losing light because this is the preparation for the new moon in Aquarius. What are we rebirthing? And we'll have the full moon in Aquarius right after the 8/8 portal on August the 9th. So yeah, so this is a seeding of a completely new direction, and now Mars being retrograde, there is a lot of inward processing because Mars is our action, it's how we move forward. Now Mars being retrograde, potentially for people born with the Mars retrograde natally, this is like the time when they get in all these ideas what they should be doing and moving forward with it. But for majority of people, this is a very internal process where they go in over and over and over, like, oh my God, why am I going through what I'm going through? Why am I feeling this way? What caused it? Where is this coming from? Oh my gosh, let's look at the past. Let's look at the childhood. Let's look at my family patterns. Let's look at the ancestor line. Let's look at the humanity as all and the patterns of the humanity that now became obsolete. They're not working anymore, right? They're not working anymore. So we have the opportunity to take ownership, with this Mercury in the sign of Capricorn, take ownership and decide to master our mind and make the selection of the thoughts and beliefs and project them into the outer reality, into quantum field, and attract that reality, rather than just being victims of the reality that was created in the past and we experiencing at the present moment and believing that all that is this. And then because of that, we then project it into the future and experience it all over again. And this is just not working anymore. It is not working anymore because with the Venus being in Pisces, now under influence of two conjunctions with Pluto in the sign of Aquarius, and Venus, what did I say? What is she doing with the node? Is she doing something with the node? Venus is going to be conjuncting the North Node. Let me just check quickly, when is that happening? Oh yeah, Venus is going to be conjuncting North Node 3 times, right? Because she's going retrograde, isn't she? She's going retrograde, but let me just pause. Okay, sorry, I really had to check. Venus is conjuncting North Node 3 times, just like Mars is conjuncting North Node 3 times, but 2 times was from Leo to Aries, and the final time will be from Cancer to Pisces. And Venus is conjuncting the North Node. She will make a first conjunction on February 1st, the second one on April 1st, and the final one on April 23rd. So yeah, what are we releasing? What are we letting go of? Is the impact of the external environment on the reality that we are experiencing internally. Because the reality you are experiencing internally, you have the power to change. based on how you feel, based on the thoughts that you are choosing to interact with, based on the vision, the spices, the vision, the imaginary, based on the pictures you are able to create in your own mind, and then create an emotion that is attached to that picture and embody it. And by the law of attraction, this emotion will then be offered to you through the experiences you will be attracting, manifesting, and attracting into your reality. So that's what I mean. This is the world we're moving into. It is not longer the world where we are just, just asleep behind the wheel and just experiencing the outcomes of manifestations that we were completely unconscious about and unaware of, and then feel victimized by, because in most cases it's not what we want. And now it's us to take the responsibility and charge of our life by learning to master our thoughts and emotions and understand what they mean and how to work with them and create the reality we want to be experiencing, obviously, which is part of the larger reality, the collective reality. But still, how you respond to that reality is your choice, right? And it doesn't have to be impacting you every day, all day, in the same way as it's impacting someone else. So this is the mastery. This is literally the mastery. So it's interesting that both Mars and Venus are conjuncting. We're not conjuncting. Mars is trining the North Node. Venus is conjuncting the North Node 3 times. So this is again about the reset for Venus, the reset, the dissolving the old way of relating, the old way of navigating through reality, feeling, connecting to reality, because everything in this reality is relational. So how we are relating to this experience, being a divine being, having a human body and a human experience through which we perceive reality and have the opportunity to grow and expand, and through that the source is having an experience through which the source is expanding. All that is. So this is just the continuation of the same thing. It's just the continuation of the cycle of humanity, which is taking us from where we were to somewhere completely different, which is this uncharted territory for which people like all of us have to have the courage to step into the unknown and do things differently. And for us to be able to do that, we need to reparent ourselves and soothe our nervous system, learn to work with our mind and our emotions. That's literally what it is, because it's those two things that are controlling our life. So we need to learn to master them, so they're no longer controlling us, but we are working consciously with them. So everything that's going on in the sky now, as the after effect of this full moon in Cancer, in the week that is following the full moon in Cancer, so this is a week later, so the moon is squaring the point when there was the full moon in Cancer, because with the Cancer, and then we have the, what was it, the Aries, Libra, what is happening here? Yeah, the Libra. So yeah, Cancer, Libra opposition Aries, yes. So we had the full moon in Cancer on the 13th, then we have moon in Libra on the 20th, yes. So we start in the week with the square to the point when the lunation took place the week prior. So this is the square, this is the challenge, exactly. This is about the balancing of that energy, what was brought up to the surface for you with regards to your emotional states, with regards to how you feel about yourself and your life, your reality. And now we have the opportunity through this week, starting on the 20th, to balance these energies. And this Mercury opposing Mars, there's no coincidence. Why do we have Mercury as the ruler of Jupiter, Jupiter as the traditional ruler of the North Node? Why we have Mercury in a sign of Capricorn opposing Mars, at the time when we are experiencing the square of the point which we experience as the full moon in Cancer, right? And moon is in Scorpio, yes, when we are experiencing the opposition between Mercury and Mars. Moon is still in Scorpio, and then this Mercury is making a trine to Uranus. It is all the same thing. It really doesn't matter what we look at. And this is, of course, under the influence of Sun in a new phase now with Pluto, for the first time conjuncting in the sign of Aquarius. And Mercury closing to Chiron, which is the wounding. The reality we are experiencing doesn't have to be re-experienced again. It doesn't have to be, but it takes the courage, the Mercury in Aries, to be the pioneer, to be someone to do things differently without a blueprint, without the map, without somebody else telling you what to do. And this is what we were learning through this Mars being in a sign of Aries this past year and a half. This is exactly what we were learning. The path of self-discovery, like taking our power back, calling our energy back, and no longer looking out to someone else, like, oh, what is this person doing? This comparison and copying someone else. No, that's what we do when we babies, when we don't know nothing. And then we just continue doing that. But actually, no, with the from Aries, the next fire sign is Leo, which is about authenticity. You didn't come here to copy someone else. You didn't come here to relive the same life as someone else, even though we might look at somebody else's life and say, oh, they have everything I want to have that life. Like, how do I have that life? But I can guarantee you, would you have exactly the same life as the person that you are, wanting to copy, you probably wouldn't enjoy it, because it wouldn't be based on your authentic expression. What works for one person and makes them happy is not necessarily going to be working for someone else and make them happy in the same way, because it's not who you are. Right? So for us to continuously starting to copy someone and put someone else on pedestal or like something, and just like wanting to achieve the same thing and thinking that this is what's going to make us happy, it won't. It won't. Because even if you have exactly the same thing as someone else, you're going to be having the different experience having these things. So again, everything that's happening this week, with these aspects that we are having, and Venus trying to Mars. Yeah, my eyes are always going to this aspect. Venus in Pisces trying to Mars. This is the final one. The final decan Scorpio. Yes. And Mars in Cancer, Pisces. Yeah, Mars in Cancer, Pisces decan. Yeah, we're letting that go, because with this Mars being in Cancer, making you to go inwards, you are really learning to reconnect with the true essence of who you are, and the fact that all the power is within you. The Cancer in opposition to Capricorn. If we keep externalizing our power and expect the other world to make us feel safe, secure, and soothed and nurtured, like, it's especially the sense of safety and security. Like, I need all these things, I need all these people, and I need them to say these things to me or to do these things to me, then that Scorpio gets triggered, which is like, yes, as long as everything is going my way and I feel like it's all under my control, then yeah, it's working, right? But that is not going to last forever. So when somebody decide, I quit, I'm not doing this anymore, or something doesn't go the way we want it to go, and then we're going to fall apart because we no longer feel safe, because these things that we were expecting to make us feel safe outside of us, which we cannot control anything and anyone outside of ourselves. Only thing we have control over is ourselves, our inner world, the Cancer. Our inner world, our body, our reality, the way we are experiencing and perceiving reality, how we identify in it, which is the Mercury, the cognitive function, and how we feeling about it. This is what is in our control. But what somebody else is doing or saying or we cannot control that. We can try. Maybe it will work for some time, but eventually it won't. So yeah, Venus being a sign of Pisces, trining Mars in Cancer retrograde, Mars being the arrow pointing inwards, it's saying no. The only way we'll ever, any of us, feel safe and secure in this reality is if we can cultivate that sense within ourselves, no matter what's going on outside of us, no matter what is anybody else doing or what is going on in the world. It doesn't mean that it doesn't affect us, but how much power are we giving it? So you see, like, it's literally, it's just build up of the same thing. And then yeah, Mercury sextile to Neptune, Venus sextile to Uranus. This is the closing sextile. What are we freeing ourselves from? And then starting the week with Mercury making a trine to the South Node, being the ruler of the South Node, and sextile to the North Node. This is something we're learning, because the sextile is something you need to take an action on. Mercury trining the North Node, this will be the following week, Monday the 27th, well, the night of the 26th to 27th, depending on your time zone. Mercury as the ruler of the South Node, trine in the South Node, it's saying like, yes, we can learn from the past, you know, we don't have to keep repeating the same patterns and the same stories and reliving the same BS, you know, reality anymore. You know, just like, yeah, you know, just because your parents did it, your ancestors did it, doesn't mean you have to do it. You know, you have a choice. And then the sextile to the North Node in Pisces. It is a choice we can all make to reach for the spirit, to reach for the guidance of something that we can't see, the Pisces, the invisible world, the world behind the veil, which is much bigger than this little one that is manifested, right? But it takes a courage. North Node just came from Aries. It takes a courage. We start in the week with Mercury square in the Chiron. It takes the courage, you know, to identify something else as that thing that is in charge, which is your higher self, not this reality outside of you, which is the Libra, the mirror, the South Node. This reality outside of you is not in charge of your life, is not in charge of you, but this is how we identify in it because of the trauma, because of our coping mechanism, because of our attachment styles, because of our wounded child, you know? And this is something that we are all re-experiencing now with the after effects of this full moon in Cancer and Mercury being very busy and being the ruler of the South Node and being the ruler of Jupiter retrograde that is helping us to master our mind. All these things are coming up to our consciousness. Like, why are we experiencing reality the way we are? Because of all these things that are unhealed in our mind, in our subconscious mind, they are then perpetually creating the same cycle of suffering because we will keep identifying it the same way, which will then create the same reality for us. You know, like these, whatever stories they are about not being good enough, they're gonna leave me, or, you know, the job is gonna go to someone else, I am not that lucky, whatever are the stories, you know, and wherever they came from. So yeah, so this week of the 20th to 26th, then moving into the weeks that will hold the new moon in Aquarius, this is for us to realize what are we harvesting and what are we then letting go of. Because when we have the new moon in Aquarius as the first lunation of 2025 on 29th, which is the analytic degree 29, alongside with the new moon in Aquarius, alongside with the new lunar year, which is the snake, the shedding of the old identity and old skin, there's no coincidence. There is no coincidence to any of these things. And the new moon in Aquarius is going to conjunct Pluto, right? Exactly. Like, come on. You know, so that's what I mean. This is all just pushing us forward and deeper into this evolutionary spiral through the lens of Aquarius, the Aquarian age. And it is not at all easy. And in many cases, it's very hard. And in many cases, if not all cases, it's very emotional. And that's going to be the case for this year, especially with the North Node in Pisces. We're going to be feeling everything very deeply, and especially in these first 3 months until Mars moves back into Leo in April, but it's not until April 17th. So we'll be feeling everything very, very deeply because we are preparing for Jupiter going into the sign of Cancer in June. And then we're going to have to learn to master our emotions and not allow the emotions to just completely put us into bed and make us feel like, oh, you know, I cannot cope with reality. So that's why these first 3 months are very important, because we are building our stamina. That is a frequency much to North Node in Pisces, which is no longer about, oh, what can I do? But it's about, how can I regulate my emotions, but not regulate in a way of suppressing, but yes, I feel it, but then I am able to bring them back to balance point. I don't, you know, I'm no longer the victim of my emotions or my thoughts that just overtake my mind, and I go from 100 to 0 very quickly because of whatever thoughts pops into my head that is connected to some limited belief. And this is Jupiter trying to help us to say, like, how much longer do you want to suffer? Because you have the choice, but it takes some discipline. Mercury in Capricorn, it takes a discipline to rewire our brain. Our brain is plastic, right? Neuroplasticity, we can rewire it, but it takes some discipline and determination and creating new habits and repeating them until the brain creates new neurological pathways, and then it becomes a new routine, and it then will be easy, right? So anyway, guys, so I think I'm going to stop talking because, again, I feel like I'm just talking in circles about the same things. But yeah, what became illuminated to you with the full moon in Cancer, especially with regards to your emotions and the thoughts that started flooding through, and what are we going to do with it, right? How are we going to deal with it? Are we going to run away from it, pretend it doesn't exist, and just find new coping mechanisms that are not going to work anymore? Because we will need more and more, and none of that will be satisfactory, because with the North Node in Pisces, it's all losing meaning. And with the North Node Neptune conjunction on the 7th of February, right before the full moon in Leo, right? It's not going to work anymore, because the only thing that's going to cut it is your authentic expression. The soul wants to be present. The soul wants to be part of your everyday life, your own higher self. So while we are suppressing ourselves, trying to escape and trying to numb now ourselves because we are living a life that is not what we want, it's not satisfactory, so we're trying to use all this coping mechanism to make it bearable, that is not going to work anymore. It is not going to work anymore. This is the year where we just have to deal with it. Yeah. And when we start dealing with our own pain and our own wounds, all the unhealed pain and wounds of the humanity will come to the surface with it. So it's not just yours. It is not just your experience. You're processing stuff that is very old, because North Node in Pisces, as old as time. And also the Pisces Virgo is the embodiment of the human wounding, right? The collective wounding, the wounding that was being created by us forgetting that even though we are incarnate soul in a physical body, we've never been separate. But we feel that way. We feel that the two things are separate, the human experience and us being in a spirit form. So we need to find a way to bridge the gap, find a way to connect the two, so we can experience reality in a different way, in a heart-centered way, in a way that goes beyond the experience that we've had on this planet prior to now, and that needs to involve the spirit world and the quantum field. Because after Capricorn, we only have Aquarius and Pisces. That's it, right? So now Pluto moved out of Capricorn, the form, and now with the Aquarius, we're completely going to break out of the pattern, change the pattern, and then Pisces, the spirit, right? So anyway, guys, the story continues. The next time we'll talk about the new moon in Aquarius, which of course will hold the frequency of everything that's going on now and in the weeks to follow. But let's just pull some cards, and I'm going to start with the ancestors, because Cancer full moon after effects. Let's start with the ancestors, guidance from our ancestors, because, you know, whether they are reincarnated or whether they are supporting you in the spirit, they're always with you, because they live within you, right? DNA. Okay, ancestors. What is the guidance from angels and ancestors with the after effects? Okay, we have protection guardian, after effects of the Cancer full moon. You are being protected. Drop your shield. Yeah, this is about the vulnerability. You are being protected by the divine, but it's time to drop our masks, drop the shields that we, drop the walls that we build around our hearts, because we need to heal. The wounds need to be healed. If the wall is there, we cannot heal. We cannot heal because nothing can come in, nothing can go out. We cannot heal if there is a big wall between us and the world, right? So yeah, drop the shield and look at all the green, all the healing, and the dark blue. You know, the third eye. Allow your third eye to guide you, not the monkey mind. And yes, shield maiden, 2 shields, wow. And at the bottom behind that is hermit. Yeah, perfect, you know, the Virgo year. But yeah, the shield maiden. Make plans and focus, exactly. And how you're gonna do it? Through meditation, through reconnection, retreat and recharge. Perfect, perfect. Literally, this is exactly that. It's time to drop the shield. It's time to trust that that which we are going through has to take place in order for this. You know, like when you have a cat when you have like a cut, you need to wash the wound clean, right? Because before it can heal, otherwise it's gonna get infected, right? You need to wash it clean. We need to wash things clean. Or even if you go to dentist, before they put the filling, they need to wash it clean. So we need to drop the shield, because the shield is not allowing for the wound to be attended to. Yeah, and that the shield maiden make plans and focus at the same time. And how you gonna do that? You know, this is, yeah, Sri Yantra behind him. Meditation, the third eye, the dark blue, third eye, right? Okay, let's see. I'm guided to have a look what else is there. Oh, night, the be brave and honest. Yeah, this card came up many times before. Be honest with yourself. And yeah, this is the card where he is crying. You know, be brave, but it's okay to be emotional, you know, and the rose, the soft ones, and again the blossoming, and we can see, you know, the circles, everything is always in circles, you know, the night. Yeah, this is like you becoming the spiritual warrior through the process of healing, you know, becoming vulnerable, around, allowing for your heart to open. And through that process, you know, you have to be very focused, like what you're working towards. Make plans, focus. This is, I really feel that it's about the focus, you know, this Mercury in Capricorn, like really being determined, like really paying attention, like really being diligent, you know, like with these new routines, new habits, everyday meditation, every day going for a walk or whatever, you know, whatever can support you on your journey. You have to be very, very focused. And yeah, you know, through the meditation, connect, reconnect. And this is how you becoming the new spiritual warrior, you know, like this is how you're preparing for 2026, for the reset point. Like I was saying in my practical application, you know, this is a boot camp year. 1111, perfect, exactly. Spirit is confirming this is the preparation. We letting go of the past by dropping the shield. You have to be very focused, because you are becoming this, the representative of the spirit world, to fight for the light. And this is how you become it. Perfect. Okay, what should we read? Okay, let's do the protection guardian. 1111, perfect. Okay, protection guardian. I can't read all four because I have quite a few decks I want to use. Protection guardian, this one. Drop your shields. Drop any shields of shame, resistance, and fear that are standing between you and your chances to enjoyment and fun. Know that you don't need to hide who you are or the gifts that you have. You were born to shine. The protection guardian is a feminine version of Archangel Michael. She is a fierce, yeah, this is about the divine feminine, right? Healing the divine feminine within all of us, women and men. She is a fierce, protective, yet loving warrior angel who carries an indestructible shield of power and protection and will come to all who call on her. She will help you drop your fear-based shield, move into a loving, protective force field that will keep you safe, but will allow your gifts to shine out. Although she is here to guard you from lower energies, she's completely relaxed, serene, and confident because she trusts that love will always prevail. Extended message: you might have encountered shame or embarrassment in the past, but that is not your present. Angels are drawing close at this time to help you move beyond any limiting thoughts, emotions, and patterns that may be making you feel unsafe. Cancer. Know that angelic protection is swirling around you at this moment and will help you move forward in a more fearless way. Call on your guides for help in changing your frequency so you can feel safe and protected at this time. You are stronger than you think, and your angels and ancestors, guides, are here to help you realize this now. Exactly. Everyone is here to support you, so don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to go through whatever you need to go through. And okay, let's read about the focus. So that's the shield maiden. 2 shields, interesting. 2 shields. Okay. Have a plan or strategy in place before moving forward. The shield maiden is a female knight in shining armor. Isn't that interesting, right? That's what I mean. You are in preparation for this 2026, right? But it takes a lot of discipline. You're not gonna become it, you know, just by doing things. You have to become it by being, right? Like all of us, we don't know how to be. We always feel like we have to do things, and then we feel guilty and ashamed if we are just sitting, right? Okay. So, female knight in shining armor. In Viking traditions, women were seen as equal to men, and so joined them on their raids and fought with them on the battlefields. In this deck, the shield maiden brings a fiercely feminine energy. Oh my god, this is again same. The power to be a warrior while retaining feminine sensitivity. Exactly. She's a female, but she's fierce, and he's a male, but he's also soft and vulnerable. Not soft like, okay, you know, he's just crying there all day, but he's connected to his emotion, balancing of the divine feminine and masculine, and we can't do it if we keep walls around ourselves, right? So yeah, we need to balance the divine feminine, masculine in each and every single one of us, no matter what the sex, right? Be feminine, but be strong, and be masculine, but also have this gentleness, right? Not soft necessarily. I think that might be a little bit offensive for men, but gentleness, right? Is the receptivity, also knowing when to do and when to be, right? When to take the inspired action and when to wait. Yeah, like now, Mars is retrograde. This is not the time. This is not the time for many people, maybe for some, but for most people, this is not the time. Okay, so retaining sensitivity. She's ready to put her plan into action. She's ready to go into battle. Her medicine helps us move beyond any unsettled feelings when our plans start to take shape and follow through with our strategies in order to be where we want to be. Shield maidens work together in times gone by to create shield walls of protection. So she also shows us how to work with others in order to bring our plans to fruition. I feel this is boundaries. We don't have to have walls around our heart. We just need to know how to assert healthy boundaries, which is also something that Mercury in Capricorn is teaching us. Extended message, taking some time to assess what your next steps will be. All great warriors have a plan. You are a sensitive being, and if you are not prepared for the tasks you are taking on, you could end up feeling exposed and helpless. The ancestor guide that is coming to you now is a reminder that you have a warrior's heart and that you have it within you to be more prepared and focused than you have been recently. So have a strategy in place and then let your guide support you as you move forward. Yeah. That's why we need this time, yeah, especially these first 3 months. And this is a preparation for what is yet to come. Be ready, you know, be ready. This is literally it, you know. This is literally it. This is a confirmation of what I've been talking about in my previous videos. We are getting prepped for 2026. And in order to get prepped and be aware, you know, be in charge, master your thoughts and emotion. We have to be aware what these are. Like, there is so many things hiding in our subconscious. So yeah, there is a time. We are in a preparation. We are in a boot camp. The angel is saying, don't worry, you know, just feel what you need to feel, go what you need to go through. You are being protected, you know, your ancestors are with you. Go through the process, you know, like create your body, create your mind, prepare your body, prepare your mind, prepare your soul, you know, all the rest of it, all the soul is ready, because this is where you're going. Warrior of the light. Okay, let's go to shaman, mythical shaman, because I feel these two decks work very well together. This is the angels and ancestors, and now let's ask the wise old ones, the ascended masters, and the nature guards, the elements, right? Shamans. Okay, what is the guidance from them with regards to the after effects of Cancer full moon and preparation then for the Aquarius new moon that will follow? What is the guidance from the nature. Okay. Wow, there's too many cards. Okay. Well, there is a snake, there is a staff, there is a drum, there is a crow. Okay. Okay, Spirit, be. Okay, there is one card now. Magic. 33. 33. The heart consciousness. Magic. Believe in magic. And staff. Okay, staff is coming up again. So, and the drum is right underneath it. So we're gonna take these 3. Okay. The drum, I feel this is the call, you know, answering the call. That also the drum, the beat of your heart, you know. But yeah, the staff, this is 51, number 6. So interesting. 6 and 6. Oh my God. And 15. 33, 51, and 15. Triple 6. 666, right? Which comes to number 18, which is number 9. Yes. This is the year. We need to answer the call, the drum, listen to the beat of your heart, you know, and the magic. Everything is possible, but you have to believe it. The 33, the Christ consciousness, heart-centered consciousness, master number, frequency, reconnect, right? And the stuff I don't know much about, so I'm gonna read that. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the stuff. This one. 51, change that leads to new beginning. And the new beginning that leads to change, 1 and 5. And the 33, co-creation, coming together. Okay, so that's how I'm gonna read them. Staff, drum, and magic. Okay, let's see. Staff, the 51. Sugar, I just closed it. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I just closed the PDF. Okay, 51. The staff. The essence. The staff is the symbol of authority. It holds the power to temper extremes. The staff helps you find the right course of action, the way of the middle, and aids you to maintain your balance. Yeah, we start in the week with Moon in Libra, right? Maintain your balance after you begin walking in that direction. Moses carried a serpent staff through the desert, and with it he could summon the power of nature to heal or call plagues. The staff reminds you of the importance of all things, and that your authority must come from your deep longing to serve. The invitation, you know how to flow easily between polarities, how to weigh all possibilities and instinctively select the right path. Trust your inner wisdom and take the first step on a journey that your heart has already embarked on. Use the power of the staff to unite what appears to be divided, to find the delicate balance between will and surrender. The medicine, you are caught in a delicate balance between opposing forces, between masculine and feminine, between action and non-action. Use this to your advantage, as there can be no day without night, and no low without high, no wrong without right. This is the time to take corrective actions, beginning with your beliefs about what needs to be fixed or repaired. Let destiny take its course, nudging it slightly along. Yeah. This is all about the inner work, the balancing of the divine masculine and feminine, and deciding what doesn't serve anymore. Okay, let's go to the drum. Number 15. Wow, this is incredible. All number 6. 6, balance and harmony. And also the relationships, the choice in tarot, the lovers. Okay, so this is the drum. The rhythm of the drum tunes you into beating heart of the universe. Its wood frame links you to the trees and helps you journey to the lower world via the roots and the upper world through its branches. The drum skin gives the shaman the powers of the animal kingdom. Striking the drum calls forth the power of the thunder and the rumbling of the earthquake. The drum invites a trance state where healing and prophecy happen. Right? The invitation, the drum invites you to take the next bold step in your journey. The forces of heaven and earth are aligned behind you, supporting effortless action. This is not a time to push against the river. The current will take you exactly where you want to go once you jump in. Collect your power tools and summon your courage, because it is going to be a wild and glorious journey. Allow yourself to be carried by the rhythm of what is really essential in your life. Yeah, reevaluation, right? Venus in Pisces, what really holds a meaning? The medicine, you travel to the beat of a different drum. It is the time to acknowledge you do not fit a mold or role or relationship that is not in tune with you. Find your rhythm, respond to the heartbeat of the distant drum. The price you pay for lingering becomes higher with each passing day. Now it's time to move on. Yeah. What is no longer in alignment will be left behind. Okay, and now let's go to the magic, the ultimate, number 33. The magic here, all the beautiful purple. Yeah, that looks a little bit like planets over there in a corner, right? And the halo around her head. The essence, this symbol represents the infinite intelligence of Great Spirit that makes up the fundamental fabric of the universe. We experience the evidence of this magic through synchronicity or meaningful coincidence. The invitation, when magic appears, you're invited to see the world through the eyes of wonder and awe, taking on the innocence of a child who knows that all things are possible. Infinite potential exists in the great mind, and you are being invited to call it in and recognize the dance in synchronistic events, signs, symbols, and omens given to you through the oracle of the ordinary world. This is a sign that Spirit is reminding you that you co-create your world in a sacred partnership. Your part is to dream, to intend, and to watch for the signs that show you what next action to take. Right now, it appears that you are on the right track to make your dreams come true. The Great Spirit is listening and acting on your behalf. Pay attention, magic gives birth to miracles. The medicine. So this is when it's challenged. You have forgotten that you live in a world that is infused. Have you forgotten that you live in a world that is infused with magic? Perhaps you become cynical and think you have to create your life all by yourself with no help from others. It's time to remember your relationship to Source. For you are a part of the story of the world, a living spark of spirit living on earth for this short time as an emissary of light. If you look back over your life, you will find many instances in which your actions alone were not the cause of out of the blue coincidences that led you to that new relationship, job, or other important moments of on your journey. So how do you stay in this awareness? The answer is simple. If you can be as a little child and cultivate the wondrous curiosity, you will see the magic again and be amazed. Remember, magic is real and in everything. Yeah. Answer the call of your heart, take charge of your life, and in a sense, this is also reparenting your heart, reparenting yourself, reparenting the inner child within. Become the authority of your life, but also allow yourself to have the connection to your inner child, which is also the balancing between the divine masculine and feminine, being the protector, being the one that takes action, but also being the one that receives, and being the one that is able to be vulnerable and connect through the heart. It literally is about balancing of all these energies within each and every single one of us, because if they're out of balance, then that's because there is a trauma, unhealed wound, and that's what creates this situation and attracts the relationships that help us to see what it is that is not balance. It's all about this balance. So this entire year, with this hermit, it's about this inner work that leads us back to this point of wholeness, North Node in Pisces, and in a sense this, what you call it, when you are in a when you are in that place, not symbiosis, when you are in that complete state, homeostasis, that's the word, homeostasis. Take you back to the place of homeostasis, right? And the process can only happen from inside out, with the help of external factors, but it has to happen inside. Okay, now let's ask Whispers of Ocean, because bring a little bit of the water, the North Node in Pisces. We ask the ancestors, we ask the shamans. This is to me all the South Node in Virgo, you know, the anchor point. And now we're going to ask the North Node in Pisces. So we're moving from the earth to the water, and then we have the dream gate. So Whispers of Ocean, what is the guidance from the North Node in Pisces, from the water? Okay, so what is the guidance, please, from the North Node in Pisces? You can't make this up. Childlike devotion. Childlike devotion. You are a multi-talented, complex being. Embrace and love who you are. And again, all that green. And at the bottom, love where you are. Love where you are. Number 24, another 6. This is number 5. The change that needs to take place through chaos. And number 24, another 6. This is a 4-6. Use your sensitivity to know when to act. Connect your heart to your head when determining what you would like. Okay, let's see what is the further guidance. But yeah, the North Node in Pisces is telling you it's time to reconnect with your child, inner child as well. Let's go back to the source and the childlike innocence and the excitement, who believes in magic, right? And love where you are. You are exactly where you're meant to be, and everything is unfolding exactly as it may. Okay, where is our Whispers of Ocean, childlike devotion? I don't work with this deck very often, so I don't know how long are these. Okay, they're not long, perfect. Okay, childlike devotion is actually the final card in the deck. You are a multi-talented, complex being. Embrace and love who you are. And also love where you are, right? That's the next card that is telling you. Love who you are and love where you are, and you're good, right? Love includes both acceptance and respect. Love is the essence of the situation at hand. Making a shift into greater love of self will bring you more love for others. Yeah, that's the Venus in Pisces. Unconditional love, making a trine to Mars in Cancer, connecting with the softness and gentleness, right? Mars in Cancer, the nurturer. Venus in Pisces, the unconditional love. Making a shift in, oh yeah, because Venus, when she's making a trine to Mars, this is the Scorpio decan. That's where the true power resides, in your vulnerability, in your ability to connect. Love is the essence of the situation. Making a shift into greater love of self will bring you more love from others. The trust is that you will receive more love when you are able to accept the love that is given to you. The love coming into your life may or may not be romantic love. Look for ways in which you can begin to connect with others. Allow your emotions to become evident. Be open to living more from your heart and experiencing your dreams. Consider the joy as felt as a young child around holidays or special occasions. Recall how you knew what you longed for. Of course, your aspirations have changed, but you can instantly pursue your ideals just as you did as a child. Simple joys and love are meant to be shared. The balance of giving and receiving will support the love you have in your being. The Christmas Wrasse is a colorful member of reef, and okay, this is about the fish. Okay. Allow yourself to be amazing, beautiful being that you are. You are loved and loving. Being, realizing that there really is more to life by loving yourself. Okay. Yeah. It all starts from inside. You know, this is the Taurus. The foundation has to be created from inside out. So that's why, you know, we are at the moment experiencing everything that is the blockage to that. Loving ourselves, loving the other, loving the reality around us. Yeah, through the acceptance of oneself, it's easier to accept other. Okay. And love where you are. Let's see what that one says, 24. So we go to the middle of the deck now. Use your sensitivities to know when to act. Connect your heart to your head when determining what you would like. Contemplate your direction and trust what you are feeling. Being present in the moments when life is not ideal is not the easiest thing to do. It may feel frustrating to patiently wait for answers or process what has transpired. You may find you are consumed by past circumstances. You may be nervous about planning your next step. Tune into observations, awareness, and heightened senses. You may move with grace and style. You are invited to be in this moment. Allow your intuition to guide you while you await your next step. You have faced challenging situations before. The urge to avoid what is happening is strong. You have the tools and the strength to face this head on. Use the depth of love that resides within you to face what is in front of you. Allow yourself to ground. If you are feeling off balance. Be in this space and know you can move through this challenge. Use this time to get back on track. Circumstances might not be ideal, but a calm shows you, here, to appreciate where you are, no matter how unappealing things might be at this moment. Yeah, that's why I feel, again, Mars in retrograde, things are on pause because this is the opportunity to do the inner work, the healing, the reparenting, the reconnecting with the inner child. And then when the internal is mended, then we can connect to the external in a new way in Aries season. So yeah, just being patient and trusting the process and surrendering to the flow of life, which is not an easy thing to do, so yeah. And this is allowing for us to master things, to become our own authority, and to, through reconnection with the child, believe the magic and know that there are, things in the universe that are beating. Universe has a pulse of its own that we are just responding to. And yeah, this is all about the balancing, the balancing divine, feminine, masculine, through dropping the shields of protections and allowing ourselves to feel, and through that to connect. Okay, as I did not pull any portal card for the full moon in Cancer because I forgot, I'm going to pull the Dreamgate Oracle because these are portal cards as well. And perhaps it's perfect because this is very North Node in Pisces. So Dreamgate Oracle, what is the guidance, please, from the North Node in Pisces, after effects of the Cancer full moon, build up towards new moon in Aquarius. What is the guidance, please? Dreamgate Oracle. Okay, let's just pick one. Gentle drift. There is no need to rush. Go with the flow. Trust. I mean, perfect, eh? And at the bottom, Holy Renewal. Oh my God, this card came for me when I last did a reading from this deck for myself. Exactly. I mean, this is literally the punctuation mark. This is how we might feel, that we are just drifting, we don't know where we're going, right? Look, the moon is almost dark here. This is just before the Aquarius new moon. So it's just going, but what's really happening is rebirth, creation, cycles of healing and initiation. This is just, yes, this is what the North Node in Pisces is telling you. Don't worry. You are on your way to get exactly where you're meant to go. Yeah, it's a little bit foggy. We don't know where the hell we're going. But through that process, the renewal is going, the new renewal is going on. Wow, this is extraordinary. Okay, gentle drift. Let's start with the boat. This is just, I love working with spirit. You can't make this stuff up, seriously, even if you tried. Gentle drift. Look at this beautiful card. This is Daniel Noel, one of my most favorite artists when it comes to oracle cards. There is no need to rush. Go with the flow. Trust the journey, slowing down. I trust in the timing of this situation. I can always move at a gentle pace. As we navigate the currents of our days, it can be wonderful to honor the rhythm of life and surrender. And when we are being called to simply drift. Sometimes this requires that we give up a bit of control and coast to where the waters are gently taking us, trusting that we are being guided towards brighter discoveries. We may force ourselves to keep up with the fast-paced world, rarely taking the time to simply be. Many of us are bound to past and future timelines, overlooking the beauty of the present, but in those moments of slowing down, when we finally step off the ride, we may find that the horizon suddenly becomes less blurred and our real world comes into focus once again. The stars are brighter, the small details around us are magnified with light. The sounds of trees swaying reminds us to pause. Outside, the birds sweetly singing share the season we're in. We feel our feet on the ground and may even notice our toes wiggling. Our breath replenishes our body. Finally, we are able to return to the natural flow of life. The message: you are being called to follow your own peaceful drift. Let the thundering current slow down to a gentle trickle. Moving at the slower pace is often necessary for learning and building something truly meaningful over time. There is a delicate balance between pausing and pushing forward that must be maintained to find our deepest fulfillment. We cannot always be plugged in or force our strides. Sometimes we simply need to return to our natural state of being. Don't forget to bask in the sweet and tender moments. Don't lose sight of the clarity of your own horizon line. There is so much magic growing there. Right? 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 Magic. So much magic growing there, and you can always gently drift along its luminous waters. And the inquiry: how and where am I being encouraged to slow down? I mean, perfect. Perfect. Okay, 1 hour, 20 minutes. Holy renewal. And why you drifting is because you are being reborn. You are being reborn. Holy renewal. Let's see. This is a beautiful card. Holy renewal. This is actually the cover girl of this deck. And again, the same thing. Look, the crescent moon. You know, you almost there. Death, rebirth, creation, cycles of healing, initiation, metamorphosis, and I am capable of healing. I am always moving forward. Emerging from the night, a seeker walks toward an unknown future. Here she moves beyond her own watery rebirth. The watery rebirth, North Node in Pisces. The ebbs and flows, the highs and lows. It is through the trials of life that her deepest truths are finally revealed. At this threshold, she is initiated into the realm of spirit through the physical world. North Node in Pisces. The inner gateway is a powerful entry point that arrives through your own inner transformation, like a symbolic death that bears cataclysmic change. This can occur after experiencing deep love, turmoil, or heartache. It is the ultimate paradigm shift that stops you in your tracks and takes your breath away. Once you move through these waves, you are never the same, and you can never go back. Life is different, and so are you. You will never be the same after this new moon in Aquarius. We'll have a full moon in summer. Often, the most profound rebirths we experience unfold, yes, because Sun is reborn. Yeah, this will be the first new moon in Aquarius with Sun in a new cycle with Pluto conjunct in Aquarius. Wow. Often the most profound rebirths we experience unfold through our own tribulations, as we are focused to go inward and dissolve all that must go, including who we once were, the masks we wore, the emotion we submerge. Every veiled nuance and hidden truth within our hearts will rise to the surface and seek our attention. These deep tectonic shifts will then begin a new major cycle where our foundation is renewed from a place of powerful unearthing. Sometimes this is extremely painful to bear, and our mental capacity is stretched to unimaginable limits. These shifts can also create a lasting chasm in our life if we are not able to integrate and heal their underlying depths. But with every shadow, there is a light. Without the decay, new roots would not take form. Without hitting rock bottom, we would not fully comprehend our clearest priorities or lust for life. With time, patience, and tender loving care, we can find balance and renewal in these monumental lessons we endure. Once the storm has passed, new life will begin to establish and blossom into more. New beauty, wisdom, and profound inner strength will suddenly emerge out of the fertile underworld. The message: if you have received this card, know that these transformative phases are all part of life and you are not alone. These rebirths are not always linear, rather they are cyclical in their unfolding. You may even find yourself revisiting certain challenges again in the future, but each time you will gain deeper insight and understanding, as you will also be able to read the signs. Be patient with yourself and this process, dear heart, and trust that you are exactly where you need to be at this moment in time. And the inquiry: what new initiations am I moving through? Yes, this is all of us, humanity. This is exactly what we're going through. And this North Node in Pisces, with all the flooding of past that is resurfacing, is assisting us exactly in that process. But we all signed up for this. Therefore, we are equipped to deal with whatever is ahead. Yeah. Remember, the power is within. Okay. Final card, Major Arcana. What is the final message from the Major Arcana of the Tarot? Okay. The World. Yes, that's what we had last time, because the old is ending. This is the graduation. This is the end of the series. You know, we're all going to play different roles. Emperor, yeah, by becoming your own authority. You are creating it. Number 4, the stability. These both are Capricorn. I mean, yes, this is apparently Aries, but it's Mars in Capricorn, really. And this is the Saturn. Yeah, what's underneath? Yeah. This is how it's happening, through death and rebirth. What is underneath that? Trust yourself. All the answers are within you. We are answering the call, you know, and this is what needs to happen, because the justice. And then is the Sun, the rebirth. And I'll stop with that. This is 7 cards. Yes, perfect. The old is ending, because we all becoming conscious creators of our reality. Because of that, we are going through the process of death and rebirth. You know, the child is there, right? The child is the only one that is facing, is not afraid, because it's no, this is necessary. You'll be guided, the answers are within you. This is the card of the Moon, the intuition, right? The Hermit, the Virgo, the wisdom is within you. All the ancestors that walked this earth, they left the blueprint, Virgo. This has to take place because of the justice. World has to be balanced. Divine feminine and masculine has to be balanced to create the ground for the new. The base chakra has to be healed. It has to be healed. And the sacral, so the new can be created. Yellow, solar plexus, number 11. Master number frequency. Number 11. And yeah, the judgment. Yeah, this is incredible. This is all the tools. Number 2. Number 11, which is number 2. And number 20, which is number 2. 3 twos. The judgment. We are answering the call of the destiny, because the rebirth is taking place on the planet. The new is coming, and it will be very different. Yeah, and that's the age of Aquarius. It's the start of temperance underneath, the healing. Yes, 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 this is perfect. Yeah, so this is why it's happening. This is why it's happening. Okay, guys, this is super long video, 1:27:29 when I said that, 1:9:11. Okay, let's close this session. I want to thank my higher self, spirit guides, astrological team, ancestors, ascended masters, starseed family, all the beings of light that were present, also all the oracle cards and messages that came from oracle cards, shaman, the wisdom of the nature, everyone that helped in co-creation of this video. Thank you everyone for still watching, if you're still watching. And with that, I wish you all a wonderful week ahead. As I mentioned, this will be my week off, so I'm probably going to be not very active on any social media because I'm taking a week off for personal reasons. And then I'll see you again with the new moon in Aquarius. Much love to everyone. Have a great week ahead, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.